Okay. Okay. We got to chuckle. This is.
I think we have to go with that because Jesus Christ, these are bad.
All right. That's fine. It's
Okay,
lame.
well, so
Lame.
lame.
That's all right. That in itself is funny.
Look, indeed.
What was it?
How bad the jokes are as funny as more funny than the jokes are. It's like
right. The
weather
joke's not being funny is a joke unto itself.
Right?
If the joke is the butt of the joke and the jokester is you, what does it do to karma, man?
Whoa. It's like, what is the butt of a joke if it can't sit down?
Sit down, stand up. You're the butt of my joke. If you don't like it, I think I can choke you until you know what's the truth. Your name is Jenny. My name is Ruth.
That's exactly where I thought we were going with this discussion. Your name is Jenny, and my name is Ruth.
Sounds like a good title. After the terrible jokes, this is a highlight right here.
Look, I mean, we can't always have the marvelous creation that is Tool sounds like last week.
Right.
But
did you do any publishing on that yet?
Yes, we have a 7-book deal, and
7 books.
Yes,
7 books.
Well, and we have there's a company in China that's going to manufacture the little devices that we send out to all the children.
Right. You open the page. There's a shovel taking up the full page.
Yes.
It looks like a cartoon of an action that the man's shoveling onto the other page, and on page 1 it says "sha," and on the other page it says "full." Sha, full.
Yep.
And there is somehow you either open the page and someone says it is what the key is.
Right.
It's got to happen because words or pronunciations won't work. It's got to be sha, sha.
Indeed, yes.
Right. But you can do the sound thing, right? Like in the back of your fucking bar napkin, right?
Yeah. It's all handled. We're gonna be millionaires. It's just a matter of
I wish we would have recorded
production. We recorded some things last week.
Right. You don't know yet because you're behind, you lazy shit.
I edited some of your nonsense out, but
nonsense. Well, there wouldn't be much left.
But yes, it's the final result is just me talking, really.
Right. It's called Erik and Dennis Happy Hour, the solo episodes.
Indeed, yes. It's Erik talks to the wall.
Well, you're practicing for when I'm dead, because you'll go on, and you just there'll be a blank screen here for at least a couple sessions.
Right.
Until you're overcome, until it dawns you knew that I'm really dead.
D'ingénu. That should be a French word.
D'ingénu. What's your name, chérie? D'ingénu. What is your name, monsieur? My name is Leblanc. Chez me, Leblanc.
D'ingénu.
My middle name is Ruth.
And your name is Jenny. Yes. Okay.
Jenny, 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 won't you come out with me? Jenny, 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 won't you come out with me? Jenny, 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 Jenny. You don't know it?
Jenny.
Are you going to say whatever? Are you one of these smooth professional transitions?
Yeah.
Anywho's pretty good. It's kind of country. So I watched Good Morning Vietnam for about the upteenth time the other day because my
Nice.
father-in-law, bless his soul, in his dying days here, wants to watch nothing but war movies. So in order to reduce the body count and increase the laugh count, I switched from Band of Brothers and Saving Private Ryan.
Jesus, yeah, the Spielberg stuff is...
and Apocalypse Now, and went to Good Morning Vietnam. God, he was funny. Oh, I just split a gut again.
That is such peak Will Robin.
Oh, yes.
Like, just... He had this ability to turn a valve on his brain and just let it spill out.
Have you seen the documentaries? There's a couple out, and one of them, which is interesting, is interviews his wife of many, many, many years, with whom he had a couple of kids and ended up divorcing and then later marrying a woman who used to work for them, much maligned in the press and inaccurate in the press. But what she said was, you would never, no one knows how hard he worked to be ready to do that.
Yes, I would imagine.
He tried it out, and then just before he went on, he was ready. But he had so much material that he was ready for.
Right.
That when he did Carnegie Hall, for Christ's sake,
right,
which is an amazing part of the documentary and an amazing video in and of its own right.
I think I've seen that part, or part of it.
Where he had 45 minutes to an hour of prep material, according to people who would otherwise know that. I think it was Monty Python's, not Eric Idle.
John Cleese.
No, not John Cleese, actually. But at any rate, maybe it was Eric Idle. And he ended up doing over 2 hours, where he just did what you just said, which was that trap door opened up and the stuff just spilled out.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. So the most recent mention of Robin Williams I've heard is, as I've said before, I listened to this podcast of Dana Carvey and David Spade, where they talk about SNL, and no matter who they're interviewing, they always end up talking about themselves and their career at SNL. So I'm very well. I know a lot about their different stories and things, and apparently, Dana Carvey said that when he, first of all, his church lady bit was a thing that he came to SNL having developed that already, and therefore he got like money because it wasn't developed on the show. It was a thing that he had before, so they had
to pay him for the product.
They had to pay him for the product,
and then he owned it. They owned it. I mean,
well, yeah, but he semi-owned it. Owned the.
Well, it could be copyrighted or co-copyrighted.
But they and he had several guests on the church lady thing. First of all, that was like his first debut on the show. Was like they put him solo on a church lady skit, which is like unheard of. But he talks about how Robin Williams was going to be the guest, and Robin, to the point of on Saturday morning, was calling him and like begging, please, can I be on Church Lady? And Dana made the correct choice of saying, no, you can't, because you are going to take this to places that, like,
I don't want to go.
That I don't want to go. And he also talks a lot about, Dana talks a lot about how they had all these like these censors that were like, you can't say penis, And so he was like, "Oh, well, if then I'll talk about your engorged member and stuff like that." There's like way filthier than actually saying the word penis.
Yeah, right.
But he intuited that Robin would take that to places that it shouldn't go.
Right,
And
because
he turned him down. And
it's realistic, reserved approach,
right.
kind of almost smug, or just like it's humorous and funny, but it's paced. It's not. There's no chaos about it. There's no.
Exactly. And Robin is chaos.
He is
So
chaos.
if you let Robin into your skit, he's going to bring chaos.
Ready. So the documentary shows Mork and Mindy and how that came to pass, and how he went from, when they said, you're going to get $1,500 a show, and he said $1,500. I can't believe it.
Right.
And the guy says, "No, man, 15,000." And how he was so crazy that they ended up inventing, and from now on it's the case in live TV, they've got 3 cameras. One of the cameras did nothing but follow Robin Williams. Nothing. That's all they did. Because the set cameras could not keep up with him. Plus they were laughing so much because it was just so much ad lib. And what they kept and what they took. And some of the shit that he says that's taken out is just so filthy. He's got the audience crazy with laughter.
Of course.
And then when it's, even then when it's not dirty, it's funny, of course. But anyway, that's a whole lot of fun. It was a sad passing.
Yeah, that when I say that we record these for the Patreon listeners, your camera is turned off the whole time. It's just
right, as it should be
for the good of the listener, and to not have to see your milky white shoulders. There's barely. You like to see my shoulder? I can feel that like Walter Brennan. Milky white. I have pictures, Walter Brennan, and a turn of his ankle. Hey, that reminds me. Have we talked about this? Do you have any tattoos? And if not, why not? I don't have tattoos mainly because A, I really have never been able to afford it, and B, I never wondered why I would spend money to hurt myself so bad for something that I might end up. I mean, I'm not opposed to them in any stretch. Mostly it's about the money and the pain, Nothing. It's not been so overpowering. I like a tattoo. In fact, I know exactly what I would tattoo and where I would tattoo it. If you're interested, but the desire to do that has never been overwhelmed. Right. It's always been overwhelmed by the cost and the pain, which, So happyhour.fm across your chest is not. How about you? That's besides the ones you did in jail with the ballpoint pen and the sewing needle. No, the QR codes on my buttocks are notwithstanding. I don't know. It's just never. I have so much self-doubt that I cannot, I know how sure I felt of things 10 years ago and how now I feel how wrong I was about those feelings, that I'm certain is the funny word, but I don't think that 10 years from now I will feel the same way about a particular thing, such that I feel like I would like mark my body for the rest of my life.
Except for certainly your children must come to mind as something that's certainly not the case. And
but my children are there.
I failed to mention your wife.
No,
but there is always something that could happen there. But your children, that bond, that's forever.
Wives are a choice.
That's right. I'm so glad you would never listen to this.
Children are like, they always and forever will be, and as such will be my wife, their mother, mine. But I don't feel like I need to look at my forearm to remember that I have children. Like,
even though you're understanding that you have certain weaknesses in your intellect, ability to cipher, ability to retain information, reading, comprehension.
Yeah. I don't.
Shall I go on?
Of the myriad things that I forget on a regular basis,
This won't be one of them.
the fact that I'm a father has not come up yet.
No, but it could be a tribute that you want to take to your grave.
Okay.
Now that's
It's funny that you can't even keep a straight face.
That's
You can't keep a straight
motivation.
face.
Let's go to a happy place. Let's go to a happy place. You're dead.
Yeah.
Before you get cremated, your body's laid out somewhere, and there's a message to your children
Yes.
tattooed somewhere that is a legacy issue. And they say, wait, don't burn that part. And it becomes kind of a dried skin parchment that they frame. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. All sorts of stuff could happen.
And it's like, did you make your bed? Or whatever.
Is that what you'd have? That's and so that shows
that's
again,
a thing that I say
your limitations
7 times a day.
Best example of your limitations, that type of thing, that you would say it, that you would think it.
But that's so deep, though.
What?
That's so deep, though. Like,
no.
Did you make it?
No.
Do you have your shit in order?
No.
Is
You're
what that
as
means.
deep as the veneer on my old oak cabinet, my friend. You just glide above on the surface like one of them fucking spiders that doesn't actually get wet, you know. It's not a spider because it's only got 4 legs, but it's called a water taxi. No, it's not. It's called a water
glider.
No, it's called a water spider. No,
Nymph.
It's called a water.
Yeah.
But
so
it's interesting because it's so light, Eric. It's so light that when you look closely at this bug on the water, you'll see that it's sitting on top of what is otherwise an indistinguishable film on top of the water. It actually depresses the water
surface tension
in a microscopic way.
Yep.
Riding on that cushion of air or what have you. What have you? It could be something like scent. Who knew scent had a feeling? Who knew scent had mass? Of course it does. The reason you smell things, there's little pieces of it in the air. When you smell shit, you're inhaling feces.
Indeed.
And your hairs and your nose are gathering it up. And when you snort in, it goes into your the rest of your respiratory system, and it lives with you. We are the shit we breathe. We are our own shit. Because mostly we breathe our own shit. We don't breathe other people's shit. When we do, we leave immediately. When it's our shit, we have no choice. We sit there. We breathe it. We breathe it for a long time. We do our emails within the environment of that odor. Our tendrils are weakened. Our noses are overwhelmed. Our respiratory system is shutting down simply from the fact that we are comfortable breathing and in ways eating our own shit. It's a sad state. It reminds me of politics and Trump. Shall I continue?
You more or less summarized the tattoo that I would have on my forearm. But mine would be more loquacious.
If that was a summary, note from the editor, cut it back.
Mine, I mean, look, you need a microscope to read all the words about how we breathe in shit every day and how that's on my arm. But please let us, we don't have a lot of television to discuss, so let's go to the world of politics.
Oh, man. Federal indictment. Wow.
What does that even mean, man?
And Jack Smith, who up until now has...
That sounds like a made-up name.
It's just been a one picture of him dressed in a purple robe when he worked for The Hague and investigated war crimes and had a beard that was unfiltered and crazy. When they asked him for a better picture, the Department of Justice said, that's the only picture we have. That's how this guy is not about the limelight. He appeared very briefly on television. You know what he said? Read the indictment. The entire indictment is Donald Trump's words and pictures from Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. That's all that's in the report. Read it. He's presumed innocent. We'll see you soon. And he was gone. It was 3 minutes. Wow. It was 3 minutes. And now one person, who was it? Weinstein, I think is his name. He's a constitutional attorney that has served in many capacities. He's one of my favorite folks. He said, reading this, it's interesting because it's breezy. It just walks you through in a very simple language, very easy to follow language about why they're indicting him. It's brief. It's fun to read. It's not complicated. That's why Jack Smith said, just read it.
So my limited understanding, let me paraphrase and you can correct, is that lots of people, including Biden, have been caught with classified documents. And when the Justice Department catches you with classified documents, they say, please give that back. And if you do, then they're
distinction. Let me stop you there. Biden, Pence, and others, it isn't that they were caught. It may be that they discovered and reported.
Right. Okay.
It wasn't a catching.
Okay.
And in some cases, just to clarify the point, it's not like we don't have a lot of time here. We do. We have an hour to talk about nothing but this legal point, if I so desire. Okay. You can edit the piss out of it later. It's now I forgot what the point is. So go on.
I was saying that if the other people are found or find themselves to be possessing classified documents, they can go to the Justice Department or the DOJ or whatever,
National Archives,
and they can be like, "Hey, sorry about this.
Yeah, National Archives.
It turns out I have this. Yes. Here, yes. Take this.
Yes, or it may be, and this was the point that I forgot. It may be the National Archives is reviewing the information through the transition, and realizes that certain records, certain documents may actually be missing, and they may ask. That could happen as well. But the only difference, to rush to your point, to rush to your question, difference between these and Trump is not that they had them. It's that they never tried to keep them secret. They gave them back. They didn't obstruct justice. They didn't move them to hide them. They didn't ask their lawyer, their lawyer, who ended up having to turn state's witness because Trump asked the lawyer to participate in a crime, which is against the law, which pierces the sacrosanct attorney-client privilege, pierces. And the attorney had to turn state's witness against Trump, and he said to them, and it's on tape, Wouldn't it be better if we just told them that we didn't have any? And then he instructed them to be moved. The obstruction is the crime, not the. He could have all those documents. No.
Can I finish?
No, I mean, go ahead.
I was putting this in layman's terms, not
not
piercing the
layman's terms. You lazy fuck.
I'm a lay fucker.
It's a legal world. Get your law degree. I didn't.
So it's my understanding that Trump had these and was told, "Hey, you can't have these," and
he got a subpoena, bro. He got an order.
Let me finish my fucking sentence.
I'm telling you, man.
Christ, what is this?
I'm telling you, there's details, man. Just can't stand, dude.
Look, let me finish my super layman's term.
Oh, super bullshit. You ain't got no fucking cape on, bitch.
Well, I'm a very layman.
Very lame. Man.
Yes. My understanding is that Trump was told, "Hey, you can't have these," and he, instead of responding like everyone else, being like, "Oh shit, sorry, here," was like, "Fuck you guys, come after me."
Well,
I don't care that I have these
documents. Okay. I mean,
now you can go.
It was huge.
Everyone, fast forward 45 minutes, and then we'll conclude the episode. Go, Dennis. No. Yeah.
So this is what's happened. Imagine this. There was this judge down in Florida in the federal district court system who was up.
That sounds like a blues song. There was a judge down in Florida.
Case about Trump. And the Department of Justice said, look, Trump won't let us see the documents. He won't give them to us. So we've got to have them. We've got a catalog. And she said, no, you can't review the evidence. I won't have it. She was overturned about 15 minutes later. And the overturning of it said, this is one of the most egregious overreaches of a lack of constitutional, reality that they've ever seen. She was reproached by a panel of 3 judges, 2 of which were appointed by Trump. Okay, this judge is sitting there with this history. Now this case comes up.
Look, I think you're an egregious overreach.
They pick a district court judge who's on for the day to have the arraignment, which only takes, 15 minutes in most cases, nothing to it, to which he quipped at the end of it, in the only humorous anecdote of the day, the judge at the arraignment, after about 30 minutes, said, and so ends my involvement in this case. Court adjourned. And he walked out the door. And it was funny. Then they say, all right, he pleads not guilty. Well, we're going to presume you're going to trial. We need to see your evidence. You need to see our evidence. We go back and forth. There's hearings. There's this. There's that. We move forward. We need a judge to handle the case post-arraignment during the trial development process, which sometimes ends in no trial, as you know, with a settlement or whatever. They have a random selection, probably done by a computer. Guess who gets picked in this circuit? The 11th Circuit, for the judge to hold the trial. Yes, it's true.
Me.
The same fucking judge who ruled in his favor egregiously. They would have me believe, and they would have you believe if you listen, but they would have us believe, oh, that was random. No, it wasn't random. Trump figured out how to get that fixed. Are you kidding me?
Look, every episode, there's like 20 people that want to participate in this podcast with me, and every time I fucking pick you. So I don't know if the decks are stacked or what, but here we are.
I pay your salary. How about that?
Yes.
Is that worth mentioning? Is that worth bringing up? Now that you've, I mean, let's call it what it is. It's a transactional relationship. You're here because I pay you. You're hired help.
So much money. Much money.
You're hired help.
I would
and your next evaluation is going to reflect your opening pre-show inability to provide anything of any humor today. Any humor. We ended up with a cat joke. Okay,
incompetence.
That's so fucking lame. You're doing your job. A cat joke.
I apologize, sir. Please accept my resignation.
What was the cat joke? A guy took his cat to the vet. Oh, it's afraid that your vet, going to check it out. Oh, I got the bad news today. It's bad news. It's curiosity. That's it. Did I have it right? It was the only joke out of what, 8 or 9 that
12.
got even a chuckle. And we were chuckling more because it was lame. I was chuckling a lot. Well, not a lot, but maybe preponderance of my chuckle.
You're a chuckle factory.
I think you're fucking lame.
You're a chuckle factory.
That's what was driving my chuckle, your lameness. Here you are. Nothing to do all day but look for jokes.
That's all I
do.
do.
To look for jokes.
All I do.
You get pre-show, no jokes.
It's a day later. I had another day to prepare this, but I didn't.
It's a day later. That's
and $1 shorter.
A mitigating factor on my behalf. That's aggravating factor on your behalf.
Indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I rest my case. You're toast. That's what Bill Barr said about Trump, by the way. I think that's one of the best quotes out there. The former Attorney General of the United States, who was hired by and worked for Trump, who was loyal during the whole time, said, if even half of this is true, he's toast.
But fuck, he isn't like. Look, this week we sadly, hat in hand, we lost Silvio Berlusconi, right? Who at 86 years old had just been a total fucking Trump figure and just like, fuck all the rules. I'm gonna sleep with all the teenagers I want and just be a total dick and get somehow with my personality get elected like
again and again
3 or 4 times. And he never did. He really, were there any consequences for his assholishness
other than reports and other than
public
embarrassment to whatever degree?
But public embarrassment is only as embarrassing as you take it.
That's right. That's right.
So I think Trump is in that mold of he will never feel sorry for anything that he's ever done. He will never apologize for sure, but also never regret, because he is incapable of self-assessment in that way that lets the rest of us feel like shit for not coming up with jokes on time for our recording. So it's like,
no, it's worse than on time. It's at all.
Fuck off.
I mean, it wasn't like, oh wait, they were late. No, they weren't late. The gate closed. You were down. You were out. And the thing is, it didn't seem to me you tried very hard, so you don't even have that going for you. I mean,
look, talk to my lawyers.
Would say, "Oh well, at least you tried." No, you didn't. Or some mentors. Oh man, oh come here, man. At least you gave it your best. No, you didn't. It was half-assed at best. It was sloth. It was one of the 7 sins. Sloth.
Nice. Well,
I'm picturing you now, and I think you should draw this because you do have some artistic capability. I don't know if people know that.
Was that a compliment?
Did you draw a little caricature of you for our podcast icon? Which, interestingly enough, is only you in the icon. I believe I'm not even.
What are you talking? What are you talking about?
What, our symbol, man? Our icon, our letterhead, our symbol, our.
Wow, this is how in touch you are. Great that you think that I've drawn something.
You do. It's a picture of you looking French with a beret.
Oh, that is my Twitter.
Did you draw that?
I did not.
Oh,
there's a story behind
that. To draw it, tell them I'll pay them to do one for the show. I want to be the more prominent. I think it should be like Erik and Dennis. See, so like, back, a smaller figure in the back, and then a little bigger, and then Dennis.
Dennis is the big figure, yes. The most important one, yes.
Yeah, because listen, people know I do all the work.
Clearly.
What do you do all day? Nothing.
I try and shut up and let you talk, but then I can't.
And you fail at that repeatedly.
Indeed.
Interrupting me with questions, stories, anecdotes, what have you. That's not in the contract, bro. I give you a lot of leash. I let you go where you want to go sometimes. Give you a little show time, a little FaceTime, a little pod time.
Yeah.
Don't.
And I make a little noose out of my leash.
Don't. You wish you were left alone long enough to do that. Well, let's talk about the weather because in projects.
Okay. Do you want to go first with the weather and the projects? Or
I'm ready to go. Number one, bright, sunny day, gorgeous. Last week,
again, Dennis goes first.
10 days. 10 days, no rain. Dry, watered the lawn. You know the story. I sent you pictures. I didn't send you a picture of my neighbor's lawn, which is on my to-do list, because you'll say it's brown and withered, and exactly the reason that my neighbor's wife sent him here to say, "What's your magic, man?"
The photos of your lawn are in the show notes for the previous episode. I edited out your specific address that was on your house, just in case we get haters coming to
mail. Yes.
Come and attack you.
Yes. But today, my project.
No one knows that you live at 9669996.
9999666. I did a lot today, but one of my accomplishments to share with you is a dirty hands job, and I planted 10 trees and planted 8 starts of daylilies in pots. So
which are you more proud of, the trees or the lilies?
Proud. Well, I'm proud of. No, I can't. I'm equally proud. They're all the same job. They're
all your children.
It's all the transplanting. But there's other questions you could ask. Which ones are you more concerned about? The trees, the lilies, the trees. Which will take longer to determine whether or not it was a good idea to do that?
The trees. Yeah.
How many of the trees will survive compared to the daylilies? Daylilies, 100%. The trees, 20%. Which ones might die?
Ouch.
Which ones might not last? The question is this: what can I do between now and the winter to get them ready for the winter? Because in the fall, I've got to figure out where I'm going to plant them in the ground and put them there. They need to winter over
in the
soil that they will live with for the rest of their lives, which, need I remind you, in some cases to be 100, 200, 300 years old. There are trees on the earth that are 5,000, 6,000 years old. They are the biggest living organism in the history of our planet. Need I say more? This is what I'm doing. This is why it counts.
Wow.
Questions?
This is such a metaphor for parenting, but Yeah, like I shipped some code.
Let me see your tattoo, man. With your kids in a heart, man.
Yeah, well, it's on my ass. I can't.
What? What if they listen to this long after you're dead, and they'll turn to each other and they say, "Didn't he love us?"
Huh?
They're gonna put a heart or a tattoo of us.
Look, people that put
on
tattoos.
his ass?
People that put tattoos in places where they can't see, it just blows my mind. Like the people that put them like between their shoulder blades, or
well, it doesn't take much gunpowder, then, does it? to blow your mind. It's like a candle that's struggling to light.
Indeed.
Your mind.
So
it's a flickering candle in the depth of its own melted wax.
Wow, we are on fucking topic. Trees are cool.
Wait, excuse me. I got my hand up. Sir, what's the topic?
Indeed. We were talking about planting trees.
What's the topic?
And now you're talking about like gunpowder and explosions and things. Trees. That's a super cool thing. The local kids in my town just planted some trees in a very public place, and it's like they are marked with like these trees were planted in June 2023 by the children of my town, and it'll be interesting to see if those continue and whatnot. As I have mentioned before, we have the best tree in all of Spain in my town.
Yes, and
so
I have mentioned to you before the novel The Overstory, which won the Pulitzer Prize.
Yes,
I'm rereading it now. I'm halfway through it. But my next book is going to be, I believe the name of it is Blue Meridian. It's by Cormac McCarthy,
who recently
passed
died
away yesterday at the age of 86. I've read everything else he's ever written. And one of the reasons that I'm telling you about it is much of his writing has a Mexican and a Spanish storyline to it. And some of his stuff has a lot of Spanish in it. And it's not necessarily translated, although in some circumstances it is. I am a fan of the Western, as you know.
Indeed.
And other, Cormac McCarthy, of course, wrote more than Westerns. The most, I suppose, the most famous book he wrote was a post-apocalypse journey of an unnamed man and his son who were trekking through the completely ruined planet full of course, cannibals, not to set you off on a tirade about, freaking, what do you call it?
Zombies
and shit. These were human cannibals who needed meat. And that was called what?
The Crossing.
The Crossing. No.
All the Pretty Horses. He wrote No Country for Old Men, which is wild. Passenger.
And what a movie with Josh Brolin and Javier
Bardem. Javier Bardem. He is a Spanish hero.
His murder weapon was probably the most unusual in the history of all murder movies. A compression gun that was used to kill cattle.
Yes. That's a thing that's like super personal to me because my wife used to work in slaughterhouses.
And she brought one home to try to keep you corralled. Did it work?
And that was the bolt action thing that yes, she killed me 7 times. And
they used a similar instrument to kill pigs, and you may recall in a prior episode my brief discussion of the poem that I had published called "Never Eat the Meat You Eat," or no, rephrase. Never name the meat you eat. Because I named, the pigs and then killed them and ate them. And as I was eating them, I was chewing and ruminating on their name, sort of like a mental, physical gut cud of some type of emotional, spiritual, ethereal, existential thrust that I had to deal with. I know.
But I mean, I
can't believe that my spittle traveled all the way over to Spain.
But like, if you name them like Kevin Bacon or whatever.
No, they were Curly, Larry, and Moe. So not only did I name them, but I named them after figures I love. So not only was I eating my pets, but I was also eating the Three Stooges.
I mean, Curly with the tail, I got that. But yeah, that's
one of the pigs that the curly mop of hair looked like Larry, and the other one I cut his eyebrows so he.
And you did whoa.
So he looked like Moe.
Yes.
Cut his eyebrows.
I have a brief anecdote to end us today.
All right. You got 30 seconds. Go.
Yesterday, my wife and I got together and we tried to do our Spanish taxes. And the way we always do it is we open up the Spanish tax program, and I've put like 10 hours into calculating the exact exchange rate for each of my paychecks, so that we know exactly how much euros I was paid in the US. And also I look at my W-2 and I say, this is how much I paid in taxes, withheld and whatnot. And I go through this super long process, and I always keep saved the exact number of the box that this value goes into in the Spanish tax form. And every fucking year they change the numbers, so that means nothing. So I go and we input, this is how much, because the theory is I have this double taxation treaty with the US where I make my money in the US, I pay taxes in the US, and then I tell the Spanish government, this is how much I made and this is how much I paid in taxes, and then I pay the difference, right? Like it makes sense until you think about it for a second, and then it's like, no.
Because Spain is higher tax than America.
You should pay taxes where you live, like where you're using the fucking buses, right?
Well, yeah,
and the healthcare and whatnot.
It's all about funding. I mean, whatever.
So I love that was your instinct. So we go and I plug in all my, this is how much I made, this is how much I paid, and we get to the end, and this is the most extreme that it's ever been, but it has been like this before, where it comes back to me where they're like, okay, you owe, when they say you owe a negative amount, it's like we should give you. They owe me $27,000.
Is that real?
And
is it real?
It shouldn't be. Like that's
Spain owes you $27,000.
Like that's like how much I paid in taxes in the States. Like it shouldn't be that they owe me that.
Or this is just some accounting thing that you can't believe and it might not come to pass.
No, I mean, this is, well, hold on. Both. But what I've learned is that I need to check the box for, no, you guys keep all that. Don't try and pay me anything that you think you owe me. Just, you guys keep all that. But it's so stupid because if we file jointly,
so that you'll end up having a grace amount of taxes you've paid, that in future years, if you do owe tax, you won't have to, because you've already.
I don't even know. It doesn't make any sense. Like none of it. The Spanish government doesn't owe me shit. I don't work.
How do you know that?
Because I'm paying a reasonable amount of taxes in the States, but not reasonable enough to have universal health care like I have here. Like, something is broken in the system. But what I very much don't want is
Get
for any
paid and then owe it back.
I don't want any red flags to be raised. I don't want anyone to ever investigate me for this, because if I go to the local tax officials, tax officials have never considered a case where there's an American citizen working in America but living in Spain, and
local,
they always,
because you're the only one in the region.
I'm the only one. I mean, every year there are more.
Say, but you know that it's unprecedented. Therefore,
every year there are more, and therefore, what I know is that they don't know the system any better than I do.
Well, how do you know that?
Well, because I've gone to them a couple times. I've gone to private tax official people, and I've gone to the public tax people, and every single time they're like, "Fuck, I've never seen a case like this. Let me go look in the books and guess what I need to put into all these boxes." So that's what I do every year, is I guess what to put in all the boxes. And I have learned that also it's stupid. If we file jointly, then the government owes us $13,000. But if we file separately, the government owes me $27,000, and my wife has to pay $300. And it's just like, what the fuck?
Hey, wait a minute. Deal.
What's the math going on here? So
Deal.
So we always choose to pay a little bit
and get
and not, and also it's not even clear that legally they should pay me that, because I haven't paid anything to the Spanish government. They just have this double taxation agreement with the U.S. So it's not like the U.S. is going to pay them to pay me. So it's like,
it sounds like you don't know. For $27,000, spend 10% of that and hire a fucking tax lawyer in the States who does international tax law. Spend a couple grand for $27,000. Spend a couple of grand.
I have a tax person that I pay in the States, but I don't pay her to figure out the Spanish system.
No, of course not. That's a specialty.
How do you even find one of those people? It's like, I'm such a rare case that I don't know. My deal is, and apart from talking about it on publicly shared podcasts where no one ever listens, I don't look, judge. Look to the judge that is listening to this in Spain. Lo siento, and I'm doing my best, but I don't. It's just it's so fucking stressful, because also the tax program that I have to fill out all these things in uses the most horrible language that my fucking wife, who is university educated and is native Spanish speaking is having trouble understanding what the fuck these words mean.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how could you find me guilty of misunderstanding this bullshit? Because it's like, I'm doing my best. And
we know we're always gonna pay taxes.
Amen.
And all we want to know is what the facts is. They tell us this, they tell us that, it's nonsense. Oh, I wish that I could pay in frankincense. I brought Jesus into it. It just was a moment. Oh,
amen, brother.
Isn't it funny that you and I are both drinking doers? I'm afraid that I know the podcast is over because my double is gone.
Well, bring that glass a little closer and let me see if I can.
Shh.
No. Don't work like that. The technology. No. Nice try.
No, that's bad.
I have a question. Do in the States, do the whiskey bottles have a little sort of governor plastic thing on there? So if you tip
the big bottles do, the little bottles don't.
Okay.
I take them out right away.
Because I'm used to that. And
yeah, I know the feeling.
And,
glug, glug.
And I had an instance in Miami with a Tabasco bottle where I was expecting there to be a governor on it. And
no governor.
My scrambled eggs got hot.
It does circle back to our automata poetic because glug, 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 glug. That is automata poetic. Glug. Glug, 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 glug.
Yeah, but it's not related to the object. So
what?
Try again.
It's the bottle, man. The bottle's like a tool, bro.
Whiskey. No.
If you don't think that your bottle of scotch is a tool that helps you get through the day, then you're missing out on a real good analogy. I'm going to leave you with that thought, brother. I got to go.
Amen, brother. I will see you next time. Don't show me that pasty arm. God damn. He has no sleeves. Look. Patreon members can see this. Yeah. Weirdo. Okay, that's it for episode 186. You can find the show notes at happyhour.fm/186. And if you want to join Patreon at the Jenna Martinis level, you can watch videos of these calls where you can see Dennis's milky white forearms. It really is a sight to behold. See you next week.